we got to start with the drones. I'm going to let you actually start and tell me why this is all just much ado about nothing. You are very skeptical that there's anything amiss or awry going on here. Your take, Blake.
All right. So, as I'm sure people have heard by now, there's a story where there are a large number of, as they say, UAPs now, like unknown aerial phenomenon or unmanned aerial phenomenon, something like that, where people are seeing things in the air. And there's been a big cluster of them in the last 2 weeks in northern New Jersey. People are saying they're seeing large numbers of aircraft. They're describing things that, there we have one on the screen there, where some of them they say are about the size of an SUV or a little bit bigger. Some of them they can't tell how big they are. They claim they're moving in odd ways, and they claim they're seeing them near potentially sensitive sites like military installations, reservoirs, military facilities. Yeah, Trump's golf course. Now, what I will say, my counter to this is a few things. One, all of this started happening in the past 2 weeks, and you know what happened a few weeks ago, Andrew, is we switched to standard time from daylight saving time, so it's getting dark earlier now. So let's start with that. This is pointed out online, and apparently there have been recently some route changes to air routes in the northern New Jersey area, so it's possible that planes are flying in different locations than they used to. On top of that, I think people underrate the degree to which you can totally just feed a hysteria about this sort of thing. How often are you actually looking at everything in the sky and thinking, is that a plane or is that a drone or is that something else? I think most people aren't doing that. But now it's a news story, so you have tons of people doing that. So you've totally primed it for people to look at the sky and decide they're seeing drones everywhere. And we have these reports where they're saying, oh yeah, this drone was hovering in the same spot for 6 hours, and drones and planes can't really do that easily. I'm going to say maybe someone does have an uninterrupted 6-hour video of a drone doing that, but my guess is that's not the case. I strongly suspect what's going on is someone, for example, is looking and they see a thing there and they're watching it for a while, and then maybe they look somewhere else and talk to someone for a bit or eat dinner, and they come back and they're like, wow, that drone is still there, but it might actually just be a different thing. And if a plane is flying away from you or towards you, it's going to look like it's hovering in place. And lastly,
right,
I'm just going to say, if you look at some of the images people are posting, it is obviously a private jet. It has the FAA lights, it has the wings, it has the engines on the tail. They're obviously just private jets. And, not all of the videos look exactly like that. But the fact that people are sharing those and thinking, oh man, this is a drone from Iran, is not reassuring for people's deductive capabilities with this story.
All right, but okay. All right, here are the various theories, right? One is you've got this Jeff Van Drew clip. We could play it, but that it's a mothership from Iran, that they've formed some sort of partnership with Chinese manufacturers of drones, and they've dispatched all these drones. Why that is a terrifying possibility. I mean, the federal government is saying that's not the case. But if it is true, Iran was credibly accused and I believe confirmed to be orchestrating an assassination attempt against President Trump. And here they are flying over Bedminster, different places within New Jersey. And so that's one theory, that it's this Iranian drone. The government's denying that. Other people are saying that it is top secret U.S. military craft. They're also denying that these drones are part of the U.S. military. So the other is, as you said, that this is simply the private planes, things like that. That's totally understandable. But the other option is that because of the size, these drones are rather large. Not all of them are private planes, I don't think, based on some of the visuals that you can see with your own eyes. They're all over the internet. They are large. And I was just reading a couple of briefing articles on this before we came on air. Large drones are used for very few things, actually. Military, agriculture, and moving things, shipping things around, which is less likely. The most common use of large drones, as you said, they're about the size of an SUV, is military. So these things have flashing lights. They're huge. They've been doing this. And by the way, the first drones were spotted over a military installation as well as Trump's golf course.
Okay, so let me say this. So when they say over, keep in mind, this is northern New Jersey. It is a densely populated area. I think people say over, and it implies like hovering 300 feet off the ground over one spot. But if it's just flying in the sky nearby, over 1,000 planes a day land at Newark.
You do not have to be that close to Bedminster or a military installation to get detailed photographs and intelligence from that. So I would say that. But if you are a human being spotting a drone within eyeshot of those places, then you are going to be able to assume that those drones are getting detailed surveillance of those sites. Now, I want to play a clip here. This is from Mayor Melham in New Jersey. And this clip is fascinating because he's basically saying, one thing we know, we don't know much. We did this big briefing. We do know that they are over the top of critical infrastructure. Play cut 132.
Yeah, so what we've been told, we had an unprecedented briefing on Wednesday. 200 state mayors were all gathered together, and we learned exactly what the state of New Jersey learned, which is very little. But the thing that we did take away from that was that we were told very point blank that these drones are hovering over our critical infrastructure. Now, that's interesting because they're not doing any harm. They're just hovering over that. We're also told that there's no credible threat. When you start putting things together that they're telling us, critical infrastructure, no credible threat, they're unwilling to shoot them down. They're unwilling to do a temporary ban, and we can see them that they have lights on them. So something's not adding up here. It sounds like it might very well be our highest level government. It might be government assets that are being deployed as a countermeasure.
So here's my take, and I'm going to take this into break, and you can argue with me on the other side of it, Blake. Because this all feels very much like the Chinese spy balloon that we're like, oh, we don't know what it is. It's just floating over the U.S. and we're just going to let it happen. Then they finally shoot it down over the water. If we don't know what this is, shoot one down. Shoot it down. There's some Navy divers that would love that mission to go, retrieve it from the ocean. And then we can analyze it. And then we have answers. The fact that they're unwilling to do that says somebody's lying. And I have to believe it's our U.S. government.